I used to think growing pepper plants was simple. Plant them, water them, give them sunlight, add a little fertilizer, and wait. That's exactly what I did the first time I tried. But what actually happened was the opposite. The plants grew, but they didn't produce properly. Some stayed small. Some turned yellow for no reason. Most of them flowered, but never turned into peppers. At first, I blamed bad seeds. Then I blamed timing. Then I thought peppers were just difficult to grow. But after repeating the same cycle over and over, I realized something important. It wasn't luck. It wasn't the seeds. And it wasn't even the weather most of the time. It was small mistakes I didn't even know I was making. And once I fixed them, everything changed. Welcome to Global Gardening. Here, we keep things simple and practical, focused on growing food that actually works in real conditions, not perfect ones. Because pepper plants don't fail randomly. They fail because of specific, repeatable mistakes, and once you understand them, you can fix everything. Let's get into it. The first mistake started before I even planted anything. It was timing. I used to plant my peppers as soon as the weather started feeling warm. The moment I saw sunny days, I would rush to get them into the ground, thinking I was being early and smart. But peppers don't respond to warm weather feelings. They respond to stable soil temperature and stable night conditions. What I didn't realize is that even slightly cold nights, even when the day feels fine, can slow peppers down in a way that doesn't look dramatic at first. They don't die. They just stop developing properly. The roots don't expand the way they should, nutrient uptake becomes inconsistent, and the plant enters a slow stress state that you might not even notice until weeks later, when it refuses to flower properly or drops flowers without forming fruit. I used to think the plant was just taking time, but it wasn't. It was stuck. The fix for this is not complicated, but it requires patience that most people skip. You don't plant based on early warmth. You plant based on consistent warmth. You wait until nights are stable and soil has fully warmed through, not just the surface air temperature. And before you even think about planting outside, you gradually expose your seedlings to outdoor conditions. You don't shock them. You train them. A little sunlight at first, then a little wind, then longer exposure over time. That slow adjustment builds resilience. And the difference it makes later is huge because instead of a plant that is constantly reacting to stress, you get a plant that is actually growing with stability from the beginning. The second mistake came from something that looked completely correct at the time. Planting depth. I used to plant peppers exactly the way they looked in the pot. Same soil level, same stem height, just transfer and done. It felt clean and careful. But peppers actually have a hidden ability most people don't use. They can grow additional roots along their buried stem. That means when you plant them shallow, you are limiting their future strength without realizing it. The plant might look fine in the early stages, but later when it needs more water and nutrients to support flowering and fruiting, it starts struggling because the root system is too small for the demand being placed on it. Once I learned this, I changed everything. I started planting deeper. Sometimes I would remove lower leaves and bury more of the stem so that new roots could form along it. And in some cases where the plant was tall and weak, I would even lay it slightly sideways in the soil so it naturally corrected itself upward while building a stronger underground base. What this does is simple but powerful. It increases the plant's ability to absorb water and nutrients by expanding its root system dramatically. And later in the season, when fruit starts forming and the plant becomes heavier and more demanding, that strong root system is what keeps everything stable instead of collapsing under pressure. The third mistake was watering, and this is one of the most deceptive ones because it feels like you are doing the right thing. I used to water my peppers often, sometimes daily, sometimes even more when it was hot. It felt responsible. It felt like care. But what I didn't understand is that frequent watering trains the plant in the wrong direction. Instead of forcing the roots to grow deeper into the soil searching for moisture, the plant learns that water will always be available near the surface. So it becomes lazy underground. The root system stays shallow, weak, and dependent. And that becomes a serious problem later when the weather changes, or when heat increases, or when watering is inconsistent for even a short period of time. The correction is the opposite of what feels caring. You water deeply, not frequently. You give enough water so it penetrates deep into the soil, then you wait. You allow the top layer of soil to dry slightly before watering again. This forces the roots to go deeper, building a stronger foundation. And over time, the plant becomes less fragile and more stable. It handles heat better, it handles dry periods better, and most importantly, it produces fruit more consistently instead of dropping flowers under pressure. The fourth mistake was soil neglect. I used to think soil was just background material, something you put the plant in, and then everything else mattered more, but peppers are heavy feeders. They don't just survive in soil, they depend on it for everything they produce. When soil is weak, compact, or unbalanced, the plant might still grow, but it never reaches full production. It looks like it's trying, but something is always missing. What I learned is that soil preparation is not optional. It is the foundation of everything. Before planting, you need to break up the soil deeper than you think is necessary. You need to introduce organic matter that improves structure, water movement, and nutrient availability. Because when soil is too dense or too poor, roots struggle silently underground even if everything above ground looks fine. And that hidden struggle is what leads to weak flowering and poor fruit development later. The fifth mistake showed up in the most frustrating way possible: flowers appearing but never turning into peppers. This is where most people get confused and start blaming fertilizers or pests immediately. I did the same. But the real issue is often pollination and environmental stress. Pepper flowers are not guaranteed fruit. They are only potential fruit. If pollination fails or if the plant is under stress, the flower drops and nothing replaces it. At first, I thought adding more fertilizer would fix it. It didn't. Because the issue wasn't feeding. It was stability. Pollination wasn't happening properly or conditions were not consistent enough for fruit to develop. Once I started stabilizing watering, improving airflow, and gently shaking plants to assist pollination, things started changing. Flowers stopped dropping as frequently and fruit formation became more reliable. The sixth mistake was pruning confusion. I either did nothing or did too much. When I left everything untouched, the plant became too dense and airflow reduced inside the canopy, leading to weak development. But when I pruned too aggressively, I removed too many leaves and reduced the plant's ability to feed itself. The balance is what matters. You only remove what is necessary to improve airflow and remove wasted energy growth, not healthy, productive leaves. The seventh mistake was placement. I used to plant peppers anywhere there was space without thinking about what was around them. But neighboring plants matter. Some compete for nutrients. Some attract pests. Some even influence disease spread. Once I became more intentional with spacing and plant combinations, problems reduced without changing anything else. The eighth mistake was the final one I learned the hard way: stopping care too early when fruit starts forming. This is where many pepper plants fail late in the season. People think the job is done once peppers appear, so they reduce feeding and attention. But fruiting actually increases the plant's energy demand. If support drops at that stage, the plant starts weakening while trying to finish production, leading to smaller yields or poor quality fruit. When I finally put all of this together, the pattern became clear. Pepper plants are not difficult. They are responsive. They react to how you set up their environment from the beginning to the end of the season. And once you stop making these small mistakes, everything becomes predictable. The plant stops struggling, and instead of fighting to survive, it finally does what it was supposed to do all along: produce. If this video helped you, subscribe to Global Gardening for more simple growing guides that actually work in real gardens, not perfect ones. And as always, keep growing.